Alright, I knew this story would have way more impact if I told it to you instead of typed it to you. So I'll make it as short as possible for the long story that it is. Regularly, I go visit my pops at his assisted living, beautiful facility. He's happy. He's the king of this place. Now, those of you who don't know, my father is a stroke victim of about 20 years. He lost his speech. He's basically blind and deaf on the right side. He can get around. He's as happy as he can be, right? So, multiple times lately as I go to visit him, if we're walking in the hallway, there's one resident, a wise woman. We don't use the O word. There's no such thing as old. It's just wise, right? But there's quite the wise woman who's always seems to be by herself with her little blanket on her lap. And I'm assuming it's just because she's so much fun to be with that every time I get there, people just need to take a break from being with her because she's so much fun, right? That's where we'll leave it. Now, a little bit of dementia, so I wouldn't feel right even if I asked her permission. I don't know if she would have meant it. So, no pictures of her. We're just going to leave it as her and me, okay? So, a few times as I've passed her, as I do with anybody I make eye contact with, I say hello. And she usually grumbles and looks away when I say hello. One day, I did so while I was with my father, and when she grumbled and looked away, my father, who lost his speech, and he'll be looking at the light switch, pointing at it because he wants you to turn it on, but he'll be going hammer, hammer, or blah, blah, blah. You know, it's either nothing or a clear word that has nothing to do with what he's talking about. So, ironically, as we passed this woman, and I said hello, and she grumbled and looked away, clear as day, my father goes, never happy, never, never. And I had to do everything I can to not bust out laughing. So, of course, ever since then, it's been my mission to get a smile out of her every time I see her. And the closest thing I get to a smile is her not telling me to go away. So when she's not telling me to go away, I consider it a smile. And it's always a mission, to the point where staff congregates behind me when I show up because they want to see the show of the interaction between me and her. She told me her name, but I don't even know if she knows her name. So anyway, it's her and it's me, or I. So today, this morning, already visited with Pops. I was walking out, and as usual, she was sitting alone in the entrance area with her blanket on her lap. And she, typically, as I said, you have a nice day, she kind of grumbled and said, yeah, and turned and looked away. And as I hear the staff giggling behind me, I just decided to step up my game a little bit. So I backed up a couple steps, and I turned and I looked at her, and she made eye contact with me like, what now? And with a serious face, I looked at her, I said, what's your favorite animal? And she said, what? I said, what's your favorite animal? And of course the staff chimes in. He wants to know what your favorite animal is. And I'm like, thanks guys, I can handle this. So she looks at me and she goes, why? And I didn't answer her why. I just said, dog, cat, fish, dog, giraffe, dog. What's your favorite animal? Dog. And she says, dogs. I said, good answer, because that's my favorite animal too. I said, do you have any dogs? And she goes, I can't have a dog here. And I don't know why, but immediately I said to her, well, I'm going to get you a dog. This is assisted living. They can't have pets there. It just came out. So, of course, I had to get her a dog. So, walked out to the car, got Flower out of the Jeep, let her go to the bathroom while I was wondering how I was going to provide a dog for her. I saw a construction dumpster a couple hundred yards down the road. So I figured I'll start there. I jogged down the road, and inside the dumpster is broken up pieces of countertop. You know, the granite, or whatever you call. Yeah, it's actually a nice granite countertop. So I found the most appropriate sized piece I can find. Ran back to where the Jeep was, grabbed my hammer out of the Jeep, out of the toolbox. Flower and I are sitting on the front lawn of the old folks' home, and I'm chipping away at the edges to take all the sharp edges off. Dig out a Sharpie out of my my console. Go back to my father's room, sit down at his desk, and he's just shaking his head, as always. And I started drawing a dog silhouette onto the stone, which I was going to then give to her as a dog that she can have. You know, it all came together. So that's just what I did. And I gave her the stone, and I told her I wanted her to remember me. So she said, write your name down so I don't forget. But she never cracked a smile. She would tell me what to do. I knew she was enjoying the conversation, but she never looked at me and smiled. She just, grumbled. Well, write down your name on the back so I don't forget. So I said, okay. So I wrote her a little note on the back, and I gave her the rock with the picture of a dog on it. And as I was going to walk away, I looked at her, I said, now you have a good day, you hear me? And she said, okay, and then smiled ever so lightly after she said okay. And it's almost like she caught herself smiling, because she instantly dropped the smile and went back to pouting. I walked out of those doors on cloud 9. It was awesome. I wish I can get some video and tape or pictures of her so you can understand, but I won't do that to her. Dogs make people smile.